around the world.
I know you're gonna dig this.
I'm telling you, it's real.
You're listening to BRANDCAST Around the World with me, your host, Brandon Berkeley. Join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me on BRANDCAST Around the World with me, your host, Brandon Berkeley. It's so good to see everybody. It's Friday, so I'm pretty stoked. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of in like zombie mode because I'm dead, but alive at the same time. I had a pre-workout, some other stuff that I got for my birthday, and caffeine on top of it. Drinking a coffee right now. So good morning to you. I'm very hyper, yet tired at the same time. So good morning to you. Hopefully you all are having a coffee yourself and enjoying this Friday. The weekend is coming. Looking forward to the weekend. I hope everybody has some big plans or does something extraordinarily fun this weekend. I don't know about you. I don't have any major plans, but I did get a new Marvel vs. Capcom arcade, the 1-Up arcades. I don't know if you've heard of these. So I'm very, very excited to play that a little bit later, or maybe try to get some friends to come over to play that game. Anybody ever played that game? Were you fans of the Marvel vs. Capcom series or the arcades themselves? Did you go to the arcades? Were you like me? Or did you spend all of your extra pocket money in the arcade? I definitely spent a lot of money back then. I'm sure I helped put some food on the table for a couple people. So good morning to everybody that's here right now. Good morning, Derek, Hannah, Mandy, Minot, and anybody else who might be hiding or looking in the chat itself, because that does happen. So today, some interesting topics. We're going to be talking about gene editing a little bit later. That'll be one of our final topics. Mutant babies, X-Men mutant babies, the ability to change our DNA before we're even born, but we'll get into that. A lot of crazy things. So we're going to check out what's going on in the world today, because there's some funny, some terrifying, and all that stuff in between. So some good and kind of sad news, I guess. Good because it gives the writers and creators a break. But Arthur, anybody know the cartoon show Arthur? What was he? I don't know, a bunny or a weasel or something. I'm not even sure what he was. But Arthur, that little cartoon with that animal that wore glasses and had the sister and had a bunny friend. Okay, so he's not a bunny because his friend was a bunny. But Arthur is being Arthur cartoon canceled after 25 season run. So about 25 years on the air, and it's finally being canceled. This is Arthur he's an aardvark, has been canceled according to one of the original developers of the PBS Kids TV show. The final season of the long-running children's series will air in 2022. Show creator Kathy Waugh said on Finding WD podcast. WD, I think that's his sister. That's clever. Waugh told the Arthur Focus podcast that the show had a wrap party 2 years ago and is no longer in production. So I guess the show has already been not canceled. I guess it has been canceled, but it's already run its last bit of production. That's kind of sad. I guess we're late to hear the news, but the team already had their wrap party 2 years ago. There's a quote here saying, "I think PBS made a mistake, and I think Arthur should come back, and I know I'm not alone in thinking they made a mistake," Waugh said. Oh, it wasn't their decision. I don't know if it was a ratings issue or if it felt like it needed to be retired. Okay, so that kind of changed the tone of everything there. I wasn't aware that apparently the show was entirely canceled and it wasn't up to the writers. Poor Kathy. That sucks, especially if you've been writing for 25 years and creating this character, and all of a sudden you have to say goodbye, especially if you weren't planning for it. What do you do with your life after that? I hope she banked a lot of money. I'm not sure how well the royalties from a PBS show might be, to be honest, because I know they talked about Mr. Rogers and other people who were on those type shows, that they invested a lot of their own money and put themselves into a lot of their artwork, and were very not wealthy people at all. They were well known, but struggled financially. And I think even like Mr. Dressup or Rogers or one of them even fought in court to overturn some rules and some racist ideals that were had. So kind of incredible to see that people are so passionate, but really, really sad to see Arthur leaving broadcast. So another trending topic. I seen a video for this the other day. Incredible video to watch, but very sad the outcome here. Falling boulders kill 9 tourists in India. With tourists as well. That's a bad way to go. Landslide caught on video. I'm going to show you this video just now in a second here, because it's it's something to watch, to observe for sure. It's quite a spectacle. This thing takes out a bridge. Unfortunately, it did harm people. I hope the person filming is all right. But we're going to go and take a look at that video right now because, like I said, it's absolutely incredible and astonishing to watch. So take a look. Yeah, oh boy. Apparently this is caused from a mudslide too. This is somewhat common. Look at the height on some of those boulders. You see the one that takes out a bridge, takes out the bridge in a second. So much power behind the force that there is. Here it comes. Smash. I think that left everybody stranded there as well. So that's absolutely crazy. You watch the force of that. It just looks like little pebbles coming down the hill. The force it gets when it goes in the air. It's like, imagine you seen that coming at you, which people did, is absolutely terrifying. Mother Nature doesn't give up at all. If she's coming for you, she's coming for you, and that's all. That's all she wrote. That would be a horrible way to go, especially seeing as they were tourists. So people who were on vacation. You go on vacation, you're at this resort, and all of a sudden the beautiful hill in front of you starts to collapse. That's terrifying. Rest in peace to those people, and hopefully everybody else is okay and they're able to repair and move forward. That's insane. On a lighter note, I don't know if you guys know Martin Shkreli. I don't know if that's his name. I don't care if I'm mispronouncing it because he's not exactly a well-liked person. It was the pharma bro. He called himself. At one point, I think he had a medication for HIV/AIDS, something that helped AIDS patients or HIV patients, and he had jacked up the price. It was like originally like $1 for a dose, and then he jacked it up to like $700 a dose, knowing that people needed it, and they did pay for that. He actually was arrested, it says here, I think for fraud later, so he had done something else that was also very illegal. He called himself like a bad guy and everything. And anyways, the point of the story here is that he, while he made lots of money, he purchased an exclusive Wu-Tang record. And a lot of people were upset, especially in the hip hop community, that this urban fella with a lot of money just came and picked up a classic treasure, you know, and probably wasn't even a big Wu-Tang fan. They made this one album, I think, that he bought for $2 million that was exclusive just to him, kind of like an early NFT, but a physical copy. And yeah, he kind of showed that off and was bragging to everybody, saying like, look what I've got. I've got this one record. You guys will never hear it. And he would play like small clippets on the internet because he could do what he liked. But anyway, so the trending topic here is U.S. sells unique Wu-Tang Clan album to pay Pharma Bro Shkreli's debt. So it's now back in the public domain, thanks to authorities. Cash rules everything around Martin Shkreli, or at least it did before he went to prison for fraud. I love this article. The U.S. government has sold off one-of-a-kind Wu-Tang Clan album that it seized from Shkreli in 2018 as part of a $7.4 million forfeit judgment against the so-called Pharma Bro. The physical album, called Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, was sold to an anonymous buyer for an undisclosed amount. The U.S. Justice Department said the money from the sale will go toward paying off the remainder of Shkreli's forfeiture debt. Something tells me they've got a lot more than they were expecting for that record. I have no doubt about it that the $7.4 million was probably close to being paid if that was an auction or a bid. It's funny how they left that out, but good. I hope that we get to hear it. I hope somebody releases it in an NFT or profits from it, as it is completely theirs to do. They paid millions of dollars for it, which pretty much makes them like the record label. Really interesting, this idea of NFTs, actually, especially if they're exclusive. I don't think people realize that if it comes from a artist, a respected artist, or somebody that you feel has the potential to grow, even just based on the quality of their artwork, I think NFTs is going to be something that is going to be really spectacular in the future. I'm going to give you an idea, is that it's beautiful to have artwork on the wall. But what I see in the future, and I know they're going to start developing very, very thin kind of TVs for this, is art that you can literally put on the wall that will be animated. And I imagine walking into somebody's home with animated artwork and these, LED lightings. It's the future. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I don't know how I got into that topic talking about Shkreli, bro, but good for him. I hope he rots in jail, and I hope the Wu-Tang album comes out. Oh, that's what we're talking about, NFTs. I hope it comes out. I hope we all get to experience it. And I know a lot of people are definitely waiting for that to come out. So hopefully it will. We may never hear it, but I would love to. I'm not a massive Wu-Tang fan, but I always love hearing new music, and I definitely enjoy the occasional Wu-Tang song, because Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F with. All right, so please catch serial pooper after wrong woman gets a bum rap in Indiana. A small-town jogger is in it deep after being accused of a serial public defecation case, according to police in Fishers, Indiana. Authorities say they've cracked the case of a woman who has been pooping on neighborhood lawns during her early morning jogs through the town. Officers urge the unidentified woman to seek professional help, though she may still face charges, especially if she continues to be such a crappy neighbor. Wow, this article is hilariously written. Shout out to Global News, actually. I should cite my source. Global News is the source here. So I'm assuming this woman probably had some issues with the people she was shitting on their lawns, but now that you've been identified, that's got to be an awkward morning run. Something tells me she's going to lose that routine, or probably take a different route, I'd imagine. Or bring some toilet paper. Bring a little bag. If you shit on the lawn and pick it up, is it bad then? Does it count because your dog can do that? So I guess if you go in there and shit, as long as you have a bag, lady, pick up your own shit, and you're fine. You can shit where you want, I guess. Or that's public indecency. So no, you can't. Some people are off their rocker. All right, this is a funny one. I've got a video for you as well. Teen girl struck in the face by a seagull in New Jersey amusement park ride. So this is just hilarious. Not too much of a news story. But anyways, this girl on a ride, seagull in face. Let's watch.
All right, we gotta look at this video.
Watch. I've seen it. Watch.
Oh! Oh my God, no! All right, we gotta look.
One more time. I know it's going to be in slow motion, but that is hilarious.
Oh! Oh my God, no! Oh my gosh, that poor 13-year-old girl hit in the. Oh my God.
Wow. All right. Well, you can't say that no such thing as a free meal, at least. Seagull to the face. I have nothing to report about that. I just wanted to show you because I thought it was absolutely hilarious. So let me just get back into the chat here. We're going to be talking about our final topic of the day, which is gene editing, CRISPR. We kind of touched on this base a while before. The interesting thing about this is with talk of COVID and everything right now, people are basically saying that they can genetically alter babies to be COVID resistant, to be cancer resistant, to have, different qualities that might help us crush and end the pandemic. So is this something that we should move forward with, not knowing a lot about it, not knowing what it could possibly do to us? There's definitely different technologies evolving, and I think we're getting really excited about it. I know in order to evolve, we have to try things, but I'm very concerned on a large scale if we start editing ourselves to a point of having too much in our systems. It might even confuse our DNA. I just worry that, maybe in the future we'll all just be like what we assume aliens look like, that bald kind of genderless figure. Maybe that's what happened to the aliens. Maybe they pushed it too far and now they're trying to reverse it. Maybe that's why they visit us. I just think it's absolutely, I think it's incredible that you can go in before a child is born and, narrow down which I guess, genome or whatever, creates like a blue eye color or, brown eye color or makes somebody stronger. It's incredible that we almost you could almost build like a Captain America type human being. I know working out, genetics is a big thing, and it becomes an issue with some people when they're working out to achieve certain goals, and that's why some people have a harder time with it. But imagine you could basically, when you're having a child, say, I want my child to be a super athlete, or I want them to be 7 feet tall. Do we get to the point where I wonder if the government would start having some kind of interference or role in that? Like, would we actually want to create super soldiers? Do we want a Captain America? Do we want to create a 20-foot tall abnormality? Because I think there's going to be repercussions with some of this. As much as it seems like a benefit, it's like, for example, being very tall can be very strenuous on your knees, and you can't fit through anything, but gravity can be very strenuous on somebody who's very tall or heavier set, etc. So it's it has its downfalls to editing, and I wonder if maybe we're kind of just not seeing what the future might potentially hold by manipulating our genes. I mean, I think it'd be cool to also have a pair of wings or something, or what if they could do this? I propose this is if they could edit your genes right now, so over time, like they gave you like an injection or something, and it switched up your DNA where you could have like blue eyes or something like that, like a cosmetic. Would you be interested in doing something like that, knowing that maybe there was a slight risk behind it, meaning like maybe only one eye would change color? Would you still do it? I feel like, even on the cosmetic level, I think when it comes to manipulating what we are, we face so many potential errors or possibilities. It's kind of like progressing evolution at its own rate in its own kind of way. I looked at this RNA technology that we had that is with this new COVID vaccine, and not that I have nothing against that vaccine whatsoever. I just think I don't think we know enough about the RNA technologies yet. It was really interesting to see some of the studies they did a while back, where you could literally like transmit memory between animals using RNA technology, which was kind of interesting because the science behind that almost doesn't make sense. But they did this experiment where they put a snail in a maze and they let it figure its way out by putting food at the end of the maze. So the snail, over a period of a month or so, I don't know what it was, a week, had to figure out the maze, and eventually it did. Then they put a new snail in there and it was completely lost. They didn't leave any food at the end of the trail, and they injected it with the RNA from the other snail. And this snail, once it received the RNA injection over a period of time, was able to navigate the maze just like the other one based on instinct. So I feel like that, that's really cool. It's really neat. But at the same point, did you just basically maybe perhaps clone the personality almost of like, would you have, maybe you transferred other negative traits as well when you did that? I just feel like we don't know enough, and we're going to end up having some kind of superhuman babies that are going to be devastating to the world. And that can be very bad. Dominique, hello. What's up, Phil? Good to see you in here. We'll definitely have to game. Valerie, good to see you. Michael, what's up, everybody? Good to see you in there. So lots going on in the world today. Lots going on in general, but yeah, we'll see what the future holds. I think in the next 20 years, given the fact that we have AI and, this kind of technology, I feel like we have no idea what humans are even going to look like in the next 100 years. Because we're definitely a society of followers. We really, really, really are. It's just human nature to want to fit in with the group. So I just wonder, just like everybody follows trends right now, we're going to get to a point where, men or women or, non-genders are going to be like a specific way you need to look. Are we going to be all like 20 feet tall? Is it going to get to that point where everybody has to have superiority? Like, when will it be enough? I think there's some benefit to natural, being natural. But at the same point, I also think it could be awesome to have like 6 arms or something. You know, I'd be the next Goro. If that's gonna happen, sign me up. I want to be the next Goro. All right, anyways, folks, that's going to be it for today's show. I do hope that you enjoyed this. We'll see you again this evening. We're going to be doing a Funko Friday this evening and possibly some gaming. We'll let you know. I'm not 100% sure on that right now, but keep checking back on the channel, keep for posts, and always check www.brandb.ca where you can keep up with me a little bit closer. You get exclusive content and updates, and it's a way to get the first look at what's going on in the world. All right, anyways, I hope you all have a great day. Remember, be excellent to each other, and we'll see you on the next one.
You're listening to BRANDCAST around the world. I know you're gonna dig this.
You're listening to BRANDCAST Around the World with me, your host, Brandon Berkeley. Join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Brand new! You're listening to BRANDCAST around the world. I know you're gonna dig this.
You're listening to BRANDCAST Around